Well, happy Tuesday to everybody. Hope you are doing well. We are at the next game, second game of the July 1st date, game number 529 overall in the replay at Comiskey Park in Chicago. I originally thought it was going to be Minnesota, Kansas City, but that is actually scheduled for tomorrow. So this one, it's the A's and the White Sox coming to you from Chicago's Comiskey Park, symmetrical ballpark, singles 1 to 9 and home runs 1 to 4, both sides of the plate. Oakland comes in with a record of 45 and 30. Chicago comes in with a record of 35 and 38. Starting pitchers, Dave Stewart on the mound for the Oakland A's and Jose DeLeon on the mound for the Chicago White Sox. Stewart comes in 10 and 3. DeLeon comes in 7 and 7. And let's see what else is noteworthy. Let's see. Wild pitch rating is 6 for DeLeon. Balk is a 2. Stewart's wild pitch is an 8. Balk's a 0. DeLeon is a +4 on his hold rating. So that's going to allow Oakland, if they want to run, maybe to get some running in. Dave Stewart is a +2, as both catchers are 0. So these are strictly on the pitchers because both catchers are 0 arms. So one just holds the runners just a slight bit better than the other, but not by much. I'm going to go back and try these dice again with the numbers on them. Hopefully they're not too big to fit down this thing here. Also switching over to a black D20, kind of trying to mimic the Chicago White Sox colors as best I can since they are the home team. So let's get a closer look at Jose DeLeon, right-hander. You can see his card, where he in real world was 11 and 12 with a 4.02 ERA. Did throw 206 innings, so he was kind of a workhorse. Although in 87, I guess maybe 206 wasn't really a workhorse. It was probably just expected of you back then. Today, they'd be lauding them as a big workhorse. All right, in the real season, that was what he was in the real season. 11 and 12 with a 4.02 ERA. On the replay, 7 and 7 with a 4.62 ERA, so a little bit higher. 101 innings pitched, 98 hits, 48 walks, 89 strikeouts. And he's got to deal with the first place Oakland A's, who have been, along with Milwaukee, the 2 surprise teams in the league as far as them being successful when you didn't think they might be, or not as successful as they might be. And Luis Polonia will do the leading off. He's in center field in this one for Oakland. Polonia hitting 270 on the replay, 3 homers, 13 driven in. He hit 287 in the real season. And, of course, before the first pitch, we have the ceremonial first sip. And that is some good coffee. All right. Good morning, Kenyon. How are you? Okay. Let's take this down a notch. Maybe it was too much glare on there. I don't know. All right. Here's Luis Polonia against Jose DeLeon. Hello, Mr. Guterman. That is good coffee, Mr. Guterman. In fact, it's so good, I'm going to have a second cup. If it's good once, why not do it again? It's not Maxwell House, but it is good to the last drop. I will tell you that. All right, here is Polonia leading things off. That's a 5-5, and that's a fly ball to left field, 1 away. 1 down, and that will take us to the number 2 hitter, Stan Javier. He doesn't play all that often. He's more of a 4th outfielder, but he's getting the start today in right field in place of Mike Davis. They're giving Mike Davis the game off. Now, Javier has accumulated 108 at-bats in the replay. He's hitting 213. 2 homers, 7 driven in. He hit 185 real world. Switch hitter will bat left-handed. That's a 3-6, and that's a strikeout for DeLeon, his first. 2 up, 2 down, and that's going to take us to Mr. Jose Canseco, left fielder. Canseco is hitting 266 on the replay, 18 homers, 52 driven in. He hit 257 real world. That's a 6-10, and that is a catcher X. Carlton Fisk is a, whoops, dropped my die here. Carlton Fisk is a 3 E4, 3 and 8 as a catcher. 3 and an 8 as a catcher. With nobody on base, shouldn't be a problem. 3 and an 8. It's a P/P, so it would be a pass ball chance if somebody was on base, but they're not. It's just a pop-up chance. And the error is an E4, so the only way he makes an error, 16, 17, or 18. He's got to avoid those 3 high numbers, which he does very easily. So it's a pop-up to Fisk. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Jose DeLeon and the White Sox. They take care of the A's in short order. Go to the bottom of the first. It's Oakland nothing, and the Chicago White Sox will be coming to bat against right-hander and ace of the staff, Dave Stewart, for the Oakland A's. Stewart, in the 1987 season for Dave Stewart, he was 20-13 with a 368 earned run average. Definitely the ace of the staff. On the replay, he's 10-3 with an ERA of 2.66, so he's a full run lower on his ERA, which is another reason why he's 10-3 and why the A's are doing so well in the replay. 128 innings pitched, 106 hits, 58 walks, and 105 strikeouts. And leading off for the White Sox will be shortstop Ozzie Guillen. Kenyon, I knew going in that the White Sox 2025 White Sox replay, that's why it's called the Rocky Horror Baseball Show, because I knew it would be scary, for lack of a better term, where I'm not surprised they lost 50 out of 59 games. My surprise is how they managed to win 9. That team is just, and especially in the replay so far, they're all hitting. I mean, I thought the pitching would be bad, but their hitting is not doing anything either. So they're getting it from both sides. I mean, I thought at least they would outslug people, but they're not even doing that. So that's, oh, well, I mean, it's fun times. We'll see what happens. And it's an excuse to use that new set that I got from the Barnes & Noble pickup. So wanted to find a reason to use that 25 set, and there it was. So, all right, here's Ozzie Guillen. See what he does here against Stewart. We get a 6-8 from Stewart. That's a leadoff walk, not what you want to do. Stewart is a +2 hold, so Ozzie Guillen's going to look to get the lead. Needs a 6 or a 7 to obtain a good lead. And he's got an 8, so he cannot get the good lead. So he'll hold. And that'll bring up Gary Redus, left fielder. Redus is hitting 247 in the replay, 4 homers, 15 driven in. He hit 236 real world. That's a 3-5 for Redus, and that's another walk. So back-to-back walks by Stewart. Granted, they were both off the batter card, so it weren't really Stewart's fault, but he's catching the bad breaks there right now. Brings up Harold Baines, designated hitter. He's hitting 266 on the replay, 3 homers, 20. I'm sorry, he's hitting 286 on the replay. 3 homers, 27 driven in. He at 293 real world. So we'll see what Baines can do here. That's a 6-3, first time off of Stewart's cards. Ground ball pitcher X, he is a 4 range with an E6. So 4, not very nimble off the mound is Stewart. And a 4 and a 4 might cause him problems. Let's see here for a pitcher. 4 and a 4 is actually going to be a 1-base single. Single 1 base on a 4 and a 4. He's an E6. And that's an 8. I don't think that's going to be a problem. E6, no error there, but it will be a base hit. Infield single. Bases are loaded, nobody out. That's one where if Stewart was a little bit more nimble off the mound, he might have even turned a double play on that, but he ends up getting nothing and liking it. And here's Ivan Calderon, bases loaded, nobody out. The A's are playing back for a double play early on, trying to prevent a big inning. Calderon hitting 270 on the replay, 9 homers, 26 driven in. He hit 293 real world. Stewart, 2-5, and that is a ground ball shortstop A. That is a tailor-made double play. Giovanni's Tailor Shop, tailor-made double play, 6-4-3. Guillen will score, but the A's will gladly trade that run for 2 outs. Almost like Wimpy from Popeye. I will gladly trade a run today for a run for tomorrow for 2 outs for today, or whatever, how you did with the hamburgers. But that is a Giovanni's Tailor Shop. Taylor, and I'm showing my age even talking about Popeye, but you know how it goes. It is a 643 tailor-made double play. Giovanni's Tailor Shop, tailor-made double play. Giovanni's Tailor Shop in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. If you're in the area and you have any kind of tailoring needs, be sure to see them. Tell them Demo sent you. We'll give you a discount. They are the unofficial sponsor of the channel, but they are the official sponsor of the Giovanni's Tailor Shop tailor-made double play of the game. And you can't get more tailor-made than the 643. So 2 outs. Reedus at third. Guillen has scored, but the bases are almost empty. Stewart, all has to do is get Walker out, and he'll get out of this with just 1 run allowed, which with the bases loaded, nobody out, is huge. Walker, though, is not an easy out. He is struggling on the replay, though. Only 227, 4 homers, 25 driven in. He hit 256 real world. That is a 6-7, and that's going to be a 1-4 single, 5-20. Stewart gets out of it. And he gets out of it. It's a liner to second base. And that's going to be lined out to Johnny LeMaster, who's playing second base in this game, giving Tony Phillips the game off. But all said and done, to get out of it with just 1 run allowed is pretty good for Dave Stewart, I would think. We go to the second inning. It's just 1-0 Chicago, but White Sox have to feel like they left some runs on the table. Top of the second we go, and Mark McGwire will lead things off. McGwire on the replay, hitting 286, 24 homers, 54 driven in. He hit 289 real world. 1-4, and he just missed a home run. 1-4 is a fly to center. Hauled in out there by Ken Williams. 1 away, and that takes us to Carney Lansford, third baseman. Lansford hitting 277 on the replay, 10 homers, 43 driven in. He hit 289 real world. That's a 211. And that's a pop out to second base for Manrique. I'm sorry, for Donnie Hill, rather, not Manrique. Donnie Hill's playing second base today. 2 up, 2 down, and here comes Hot Dog Jackson. He has not had a good replay. Hot Dog Jackson hitting 191 on the replay, 12 homers, 35 driven in. He hit 220 real world. Let's see what Hot Dog can do. 310 for Hot Dog, and he grounds it to second. Donnie Hill makes the play. It's another 3 up, 3 down for the Oakland A's, as DeLeon is kept them off balance so far. We go to the bottom of the second. Still 1-0 Sox. And we go to the venerable Carlton Fisk. He will lead things off. Fisk hitting 296 on the replay, 7 homers, 27 driven in. He hit 256 real world. 6-8 off of Stewart is a strikeout. First strikeout for Dave Stewart. 1 away, and that's going to send us to Donnie Hill, a switch-hitting second baseman. Hill on the replay is hitting 203, 2 homers, 21 driven in. He at 239 real world. 1-4, and that is a fly ball to right, and Javier tracks it down, 2 down. For Steve, Lions, Tigers, and Bears, oh my, the third baseman for the White Sox. Limited duty, 26 at-bats, but he is hitting 346. No homers, 3 driven in. He hit 280 real world, or is it 290? I got a spam call coming in, so I need to get rid of that. He hit 280 real world. Got to love the spam calls. 210, and that's a ground ball back to Stewart, and that's an easy 1-2-3 inning for Stewart. Much better this time for Dave Stewart. We go to the third, still 1-0 White Sox. And Terry Steinbach will start up for the Oakland A's. Steinbach, the catcher, hitting 273 on the replay, 4 homers, 14 driven in. He hit 284 real world. That is a 5-7. And it's ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Ozzie Guillen. He's a 2E21. 218, he'll definitely get to that. E21 at shortstop. The only errors on E21, 6, 15, and 17. Has to avoid those 3 numbers, 6, 15, and 17. And with a 4, he definitely does that. So Steinbach is retired, 1 away. For Johnny LeMaster, he was not carded by Strat. So we have this computerized card. Johnny LeMaster in 24 real-life at-bats hit 083. And on the replay, he's 0 for 4. Whoop, that white die missed. So let's try again. Feel like Genesis and Phil Collins. I missed again. All right, 6-7. That's a walk. Another walk by, or first walk rather, by DeLeon. I keep thinking the wrong team is batting here, but it's a walk, and LeMaster's no threat to run. Well, wait a minute. Let's see here. Interestingly enough, he had no stolen bases, was caught once, so he does have the asterisk here. So we're going to see about getting a lead, because if you don't try for the lead, you're never going to get us caught stealing, like you know, to mimic what he did in real world. So I'm trying to be realistic here. He actually stole a base or attempted to steal a base for a reason, so I'm not going to poo-poo that. We're going to give him an opportunity to get the lead, 4 or a 5. 6, he does not get the lead, so he will hold. And that brings up Alfredo Griffin, the 9th batter in the lineup, shortstop. Griffin hitting 270, 2 homers, 30 driven in. He hit 263 real world. That's a 2-6, and that's going to be a ground ball third base B, fielder's choice. Lyons to Hill for the force. But now that puts Griffin at first base, and he's definitely a threat to run, particularly with the +4 hold of Jose DeLeon. So a 2 through 10, he gets the lead. So he gets the lead. 15 being held to 13, but then the +4 is a 17. 1 to 17, Fisk T rating is a 5, but a 1 to 17, he's safe. And he got caught stealing. Wow, what a throw by Fisk. Throws him out. Caught stealing, 2 to 6 as Guillen puts on the tag. And Alfredo Griffin is caught stealing. That ends the inning. We go to the bottom of the third. Still 1-0 White Sox here on this Tuesday morning. I believe it's June the 15th, or is it 16th? Man, I think it's June the 16th, actually. I lose track of the calendar days, to be honest with you. I just know it's a Tuesday in June. I believe it's the 16th, though. But, of course, in our world, it's Wednesday, July 1st, 1987. All right, here's Ken Williams. He's hitting 223 on the replay, 2 homers, 13 driven in. He hit 281 real world. And that's a 6-11. Ground ball first base X, Mark McGuire, he's a 3E12. 3 and a 9, he should get to that. 3 and a 9 should not be an issue. It is not, it's a G3. And he is an E12 at first base. He's got to avoid 3, 6, 9, 15, and 18. 6, he couldn't avoid it, so that's going to be an error on McGuire. E12, there's a 6 right there. The first number in the error range is a 6. So McGuire boots it. E3. Start the inning. Stewart's not happy about it, but it happens. And now Ken Williams will look to get a lead. Williams needs a 6, 7, or 8 to obtain a lead. Doesn't get it, so he'll hold. And that brings up Guillen, who walked and scored his first trip. Hello, Dr. D. That's a 3-11, and that is a ballpark single check. It's a 1 to 9 to get a base hit for Ozzie Guillen. And it's a 4, so he gets a base hit. It's one base only. First and second. Nobody out for Gary Reedus. Oh, missed again. Boy, I'm just having a good old time with these big dice here, aren't I? 5-6, and that's a strikeout for Stewart. Much needed. Strikeout number 2 on the game for Stewart. Brings up the dangerous Harold Baines. First and second, 1 out. Double play, though, would get him out of the inning. 4-5, that's a split. 1 to 4 is a single. 5 to 20, he lines out to LeMaster. And he will line it to second base for out number 2. Now it's a clutch situation for Ivan Calderon. And in the clutch, Calderon against the right-handers loses 3 hits in that column 1. 1-8, 110, 111, all gone in the clutch. So definitely anti-clutch. 3-5, however, is another walk. Third walk issued by Stewart. So between an error, a single, and a walk, the White Sox have loaded the bases again with 2 outs. They loaded the bases in the first inning, but that was with nobody out and only scored 1 run. Now with 2 outs, the clutch situation turns to Greg Walker. And in the clutch, Walker gains 1 hit on 1-5. Everywhere else he is neutral. Stewart trying to get out of the mess. 110. 110 is a single 1-19. Line out 20. I got to take this call. That is a base hit. I'll be right back. I'll speak to you at 11:30. Okay. All right. All right. Sorry about that. I did have to take that phone call. It's one of the few I do have to take. When your 90-year-old mother calls you, you'll have to take a phone call. Not much you can do about that. Nothing bad, just some information about tomorrow that I'm going over there tomorrow. So let's see. So it was a single. It was a single for Walker. If I remember correctly, it's a 1-base single. Trying to remember now. Got kind of thrown off my game here because of that, but I believe it's a 1-base single. RBI. Good morning, Dan. Let me just double check it. I'm pretty sure that's what it is, but I don't want to get it wrong either. So, and not be accurate. So let me just back this up just a smidgen and see if I can figure out what the roll was before I got the 3. Let's take a look here. All right, it was a 3-5. Let's see here. Oh, okay. So now the bat's coming up for Calder for a Walker. So I want to see what happened on that before I continue. What did I roll originally? Let's see here. We rolled. The roll was, come on, a 1-9 on Walker. Oh, so actually it was a 1. So I got it. Wait a minute. Let me see here. I think I misread that because I had 110. I think it was actually a 1-9. So I think he walks instead of the result's the same, but I think it's a bases loaded walk. Let's look at the. I'm doing the replay here on my phone, so let's see about what that actually was. I think it was a 1-9, if I'm not mistaken. Was it a 1-9 or a 1-10? It was a 1-9. Okay, so it was a 1-9. So Walker walks with the bases loaded. That's what it was. Okay. Well, see, I'm glad I went back on it because I was going to give him a base hit instead of a walk, and that would not have been accurate. So, oh, and Dan, just like Strat-O-Matic, the pitchers have a point of weakness. I had a point of weakness yesterday and ordered Strat-O-Matic with the discount. So I wasn't going to do it, but I ended up doing it anyway. With the 10% discount and the free shipping, I just couldn't pass it up. So I ended up getting 52 and 1980. And I guess they'll be here shortly. 1952 and 1980, yes. With the 10% discount and the free shipping, it ended up being cheaper than what it would have been had I gone to Strat-O-Matic myself and picked them up. It was actually less than the actual cost of the 2 sets. So I need more Strat sets like I need a hole in the head. But sometimes, just like in The Godfather, they make you an offer you can't refuse, Just happen that way. Now, 1980 has a purpose because that's going to be next year's NBC Game of the Week is 1980, and I will be doing it with Strat-O-Matic. But 1952, I just got to figure out what I'm going to do with 52. It's just a nice season to have, I think. Not sure I'll do any kind of replay with it, but it's just nice to have. I'll just put it that way. I've only got 1955s, the only set I've got from the 50s. So it's nice to add that to the collection. So, all right, Carlton, back to the game. Carlton Fisk. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Clutch situation for Fisk. He gains a hit on 112, and that's it. That's a 6-3. And it's another ground ball, pitcher X for Stewart. Remember, he's a 4 range, so that's the problem. Not his error, but his range. He's a 4. 4 and 17, though, that won't be a problem. E6. Let's make sure he does not make an error. E6, the only errors are 3, 13, and 18. As long as he avoids those numbers, he's out of the inning. And wait a minute, was that a 13? Did I just roll a 13? Did I just say 3, 13, and 18 were errors? I certainly did, didn't I? And that's a 13. Unbelievable. Another error on the A's. I think they're sleepwalking through this game. Second error of the inning. Calderon will score. No, Calderon will not score. What am I doing? Calderon was at second base here, so Calderon goes to third. A walk, and a 1 base error. He does not score. He goes to third base. I got to make sure I'm not out of sorts. You get a phone call and stuff, and it can throw you off. All right. So the error on Stewart. So not only are the A's out of sorts, I'm out of sorts. I know what I need. I need another sip of coffee. Maybe that will help. But 2 runs are in. Williams came in on the walk, and Keegan scores on the error. So 2 runs are in as they should be, or as they accurately are based on what happened, not as they should be, because the A's should be out of the inning a long time ago. But it's just how it works out. So let's see here. Let me make sure I've got what I need. So with Walker up, Walker drew the base on balls. For some reason I've got them. Yeah, okay, 2 runs in, that's right. So the 1 base error on Stewart. And now we've got Donnie Hill with the bases loaded. His clutch, he loses a hit on 3-9 and 1-2. That's a 6-6 switch hitter. That's a 1-10 double. That could clear the bases. 11-20 is a fly to right. And that's a 15. So Stewart got a break, and Javier ran it down. Limits the damage to 2 runs, keeps them in the game. With their offense, 3-0 is doable to make that up. But if that had gotten 6-0, that would have been pretty ugly early. So at the end of 3, it is 3-0 White Sox. Jose DeLeon has a good lead to work with. He's been pretty good here in the first 3 innings, keeping the A's off balance. Now let's see what he does here. Second time through the order. Polonia, 5-5, and that's going to be a fly ball to left, just like he did to start the game. 1 away. I figure the law of averages has to come back and start getting the A's and the Brewers, who did so well in the first half of the season, or the first couple of months, but it's got to turn around here shortly and even things out, you would think. Here's Javier, 1-8, and that's a strikeout. Javier, so the 4th inning starting just like the 3rd inning did. Fly to left and a strikeout. It's like mirror images. Now, if Canseco pops up to Fisk, then I think something freaky's going on. 6-4. Now this time it is a fly to center, and that will end the inning. But DeLeon, another very easy inning. The A's seem to be a little lethargic today. Tony La Russa can't be happy about that. Stickler as he is to details. And that'll bring up Steve Lyons. And I ordered it yesterday morning, late yesterday morning. I have not gotten, I got the confirmation the order went through, but I have not gotten a shipping thing. So I don't know how long it takes them to put those 2 seasons in a box and ship it to me with some bubble wrap around it. But we'll find out. But just a momentary thing of weakness to order the sets that I really, like I said, 1980 had a purpose. I was just going to order 1980 by itself, but then I thought, well, I can get 52. As long as it's free shipping, we'll go and bring it on. So, all right, here's Steve Lyons, the only one not bat in the previous inning, 4-9. He's going to fly to center. 1 away. Here's Ken Williams, 1-7. Double 1 to 11, single 12 to 20. That's a single. I'm sorry, it's a double. It's a 4, so it's a double for Ken Williams. 1 out double for Williams. Here come the White Sox again. Here's Ozzie Guillen. He's walked in singles, scored 2 runs. 2-7. This time he grounds it to first. McGuire takes it. And going to third on the play is Williams. Now it's another clutch situation for Gary Reedus. And Reedus in the clutch loses a hit on 3-10 and 2-2. Reedus 0 for 1, a walk and a strikeout. 6-3, and it's another ground ball pitcher X again. Stewart's had issues. He failed the range check the first time around, and he failed the error check the second time around. Let's see what happens this time. 4-16, he gets the range down pretty good. 8 on the air. I think he's okay this time because it's an E6, and I don't think there's an 8. There is not an 8 there, so he managed to get by with it this time. So that will end the inning. Still 3-0 as we go to the 5th. Hello, Jim. Good morning to you. I hope so, Dan. I'm not in a rush to get it or anything. I just want to know when it's coming so I can be on the lookout for it, because sometimes our FedEx people have a tendency to deliver the packages to, the neighbors by mistake. So I want to know if it's been delivered. If they're telling me it's been delivered, it's not on my porch, I got to know where to go hunt for it. So I'm not in a rush to get it. I just want to make sure it gets here. I almost spent the $7 and got another game box, but I figured I got about 3 of those already. I don't need any more game boxes. So, all right. It's too bad they don't make all the sets like the Barnes & Nobles where it's a square rather than a rectangle, because that fits a whole lot better. And the cards, I just like that. I just wish they would go to that setup going forward. I think they could benefit from that, pretty well, my opinion. So anyway, we go to the top of the 5th. DeLeon has a 7 fatigues, and so does Stewart. Here's McGuire. That's a 6-12 off of DeLeon. That's a ballpark blast. It's only a 1-4 at Comiskey Park, though. And that's a 17, just a deep fly to left for McGuire. Got up under just a tad. 1 away for Carney Lansford. 5-10, and that's another fly to left. Left fielder Gary Reedus is getting a workout out there. We're in the 5th inning, and that's his 4th putout already. And here's Hot Dog Jackson, grounded to second his first time up. 2-8 for Hot Dog, and he gets a base hit. How about that? Hot Dog Jackson breaks up the no-hitter. He says, "You're not getting a no-hitter on my watch." So Hot Dog Jackson breaks up the no-hitter in the 5th inning. And here comes Terry Steinbach. (6-8), and that's a walk issued by DeLeon, his second. First clutch situation of the game for the Oakland A's, and who they have up but Mr. Johnny LeMaster. He's obviously not rated for clutch because he had such few at-bats. Mr. O-83 himself. The only way he gets a hit is off DeLeon's card. Everything here is an out, a couple of walks, but everything else is an out. So he's got to hope he gets something off of DeLeon's card. And he does, 4-8. And how about that? He's going to get a base hit off of DeLeon's card. 4-8, 1-15 is a double. And he gets the double, 2 stars. So Jackson will score. Stopping at third is Steinbach. RBI double for Johnny LeMaster. He had 1 RBI the whole season, and I guess this is it right here. Cuts the lead to 3-1. And as bad as the A's have played, they're 1 base hit away from tying this game. They have runners at second and third, 2 outs for Alfredo Griffin. Griffin in the clutch. Gains a hit on 3-11. 1 single, 2 stars, and we got a tie game. That's a 1-7, and that's even worse. 1-7, 1-5 is a home run. 6-20 is a double. And that's a 9. It'll be a double. We do have a tie game. Tied at 3. That didn't take long at all. First 2 were out and looked like he was rolling. And then Mark McGwire gets an innocent-looking single. Next thing you know, we're tied at 3. Griffin, that's 31-32 for his runs batted in on the season. We are tied at 3 apiece, and A's still looking for more. 2 outs clutch situation for Polonia. He loses a hit on 110 rather. DeLeon's got to regroup, catch his breath, and try to get out of this. 4-9, and that's not going to help. 1-4 is a triple. 5-20 is a single. Polonia had 10 triples in the season, so 1-4 will be a triple. And he is a triple. How about that? A triple by DeLeon. I'm sorry, by Polonia. A RBI triple puts the A's in the lead. We got a 4-score Abraham Lincoln inning. A's have come all the way back to take a 4-3 lead. And that'll bring up Stan Javier. That's a 2. Possible balk or pass ball. Possible pass ball on Fisk. He's only a 3. No pass ball. So now here's Javier. 0-for-2. He struck out twice. 2-9. And he will ground to second to end the inning. But a 4-score inning for the Oakland A's have given them the lead. They just woke up all of a sudden. And at the end of 4.5, it's Oakland 4, Chicago 3. See if Dave Stewart can take advantage of the run support. They just exploded here in the 5th inning. And here's Harold Baines to try to bring back the Sox. 1-7, and he flies to center. Hauled in by Polonia. 1 down. Stewart looking for that shutdown inning. Here's Calderon. He is hit into a double play and walks. 2-10 for Calderon. He's going to ground it to Lansford at third. 2 down. Greg Walker. 5-3. Left-handed. Ground ball first base C. McGwire gets it. Flips to Stewart covering. And it is a 1-2-3 shutdown inning for Stewart. And at the end of 5, it is Oakland 4 and the White Sox 3. White Sox might be regretting not scoring more runs in the first inning, particularly when the bases loaded and nobody out and only got 1 run in. So now DeLeon has to compose himself. Didn't get very long to stay in the dugout to get himself straightened out. He seemed like, real quickly he's right back on the mound. Here's Jose Canseco, the only one not to bat last inning. It's a 2-6 for Canseco, struck him out. So that's a good start for DeLeon, his 3rd strikeout. That'll bring up Mark McGwire. Started the whole mess with an innocent single his last time up. 6-12, that's a ballpark blast again for McGwire, but it's again only a 1-4. But it is a 4. It is gone. Mark McGwire, home run on the ballpark blast, even though it's only a 1-4. That is a 4. It's gone. Mark McGwire sends one deep. That is home run number 25 on the replay. You get 49 of them real world. This is our home run 25 on the replay, RBI 55. And the A's lead it 5-3. And the Comiskey faithful is a little bit stunned right now. Here's Lansford, 111, and that's a fly to right, 2 away. 4, Hot Dog Jackson. Jackson broke up the, actually it was a Jackson single, not the McGuire single. It's a Jackson single that started all the mess. It's his fault. He's the one that started all this mess with his innocent single that broke up the no-hitter. 4-7, and it's ground ball second base X, Donnie Hill, 4E11. 4-4, that's probably going to be a base hit. I don't know, though. It's hard to tell. 4-4, yep, it is going to be a base hit for Reggie. He gets his second hit. Hill's error rating's an 11. He's got to avoid 15, 17, and 18, which he does. But Reggie sneaking it past for his second hit of the game. And that'll bring up Steinbach, catcher. 6-6, and that's a strikeout for DeLeon to end the inning. But the home run for McGuire gives the Oakland A's a 5-3 lead over the White Sox. And due up for the Sox, it'll be Fisk, Hill, and Lyons. Those are the scheduled hitters. So let's do this. I didn't get the home run from McGuire in the computer. Let's do that real quick. Home run. Then we get the fly out by Lansford, single by Hot Dog, and the strikeout of Steinbach. And now we're ready for the bottom of the 6th. Carlton Fisk to lead it off. 4-4, catcher X. Steinbach's a 3, E7. 3-5, but with nobody on base, that shouldn't be an issue. 3-5 is a P/P, just a pop-up as long as there's no error. He is an E7. So the errors are 3, 15, 16, and 18. And no problem there. So it's a pop-up to Steinbach, 1 away. One catcher popping out to the other. Here's Donnie Hill. 6-8 for Hill. Switch hitter batting left. 6-8 is another walk. For Stewart, that is his 5th walk of the game. Hill, no threat to run. Here's Steve Lyons, third baseman. 0 for 2. 5-7. Ground ball second base X. Possible double play, but LeMaster's a 4E37. He's not very good at all, obviously. With the 4, but he got the 20, so he catches a break. If he can avoid the E37 error, we got a double play. Second base, E37. You're looking at 11, 15, 16, basically 3-11 and then 15 through 18. And that is a 13. So he's going to be okay on that. E37, there is no 13 there. So LeMaster will actually turn the double play. 4-6-3, another tailor-made double play. Turned by the Oakland A's. Second tailor-made double play of the game they've turned. And the White Sox just continue to miss opportunities. Go the 7th, it's still 5-3. White Sox can't believe LeMaster was able to turn that double play, but he certainly did. And now we go, LeMaster's going to lead it off. He's thinking big stuff here. He doubled his last time up, plus he just turned a double play. So he's prancing around pretty good right now. 5-6, but this time he strikes out. Strikeout number 5 for DeLeon. That'll bring up Alfredo Griffin. Big double his last time up. 3-8, and this time a 1-9 single. Anything else he lines to second. And that's a line out to Donnie Hill. 2 down. For Polonia. Polonia had a RBI triple his last time up. 4-7. Ground ball second base X, Donnie Hill. 4-E11. 4 and a 10. He'll get to that. E11 at second base. E11, he's got to avoid 15, 17, and 18, which he does very easily, and that ends the inning. So we go to the seventh inning stretch here in Comiskey Park. A's lead at 5-3, 5 unanswered runs after the White Sox took a 3-0 lead into the fifth. Stewart back out. This is his fatigue inning. DeLeon, that was his fatigue inning, but he's got full endurance. He gave up nothing, so he has full endurance to go into the eighth inning. Stewart now will face the bottom of the order, Williams, and then Guillen and Reedus. So pinch hitting is now allowed since we're in the seventh inning, but I think they're going to stick with Williams. 6-9, and he gets a 1 for a double. Anything else, he flies it to Canseco in left field. And Canseco hauls it in, 1 away. Flips the order back over to Ozzie Guillen. 4-3, left-hander. Fly ball left field X. We're looking at Canseco. He's a 3-E9. 3 and a 9. He should get to that as an outfielder. I believe a 3 and a 9 is just fine. Yep, F2, just fine. He is an E9 in left field, so he's got to avoid 11, 16, 18, and 3. And that is a 12. That's just fine. Canseco makes the play. 2 down. Tomorrow's game will be the Royals and the Twins from Kansas City. Frank Viola against Bob Stoddard. Obviously, I've heard of Frank Viola. Don't know if I've heard of Bob Stoddard all that much, but he is starting for the Royals. Here's Reedus. 4-3. That's a fly ball left field X. So Canseco will get a third chance. Another left field X. 3 in the E9. 3 and a 9, just like last time, so we know it's good. And that's a 15. Let's see, make sure that's not a problem. E7 and E9 and a 15 for a left fielder. There's a 16, but no 15. So Canseco will put all 3 outs. All 3 putouts by Canseco, and Stewart will keep full endurance into the 8th. We go to the 8th. It's still 5-3. Favor of the Oakland A's. It'll be Javier Canseco McGuire do up for the A's as they lead it by the score of 5-3. No action in either bullpen right now. (6-5), switch hitter batting left. That's a fly to center. Williams makes the play, 1 down. And the way the starters have pitched the last couple of innings, there's no reason to have anybody up in the bullpen. Here's Canseco. 5-6, struck him out. Strikeout number 6 for DeLeon. Here's McGuire, homered his last time up on a ballpark blast. 1-5, and this time he doesn't need a ballpark blast. Kind of forgot to do this over the last couple games, but close-ups on the home run. 1-5 for Mark McGuire. There you see it. No D20 needed, no ballpark check needed. 1-5, clean as can be. And as Jeffrey would say, clean as a baby's bottom. So there you go. Home run for Mark McGuire, his 2nd of the game, his 26th of the season. And that has given the A's a 6-3 lead. Now the White Sox will have activity in their bullpen. Home run number 26 for Mark McGuire. Puts the A's up 6-3. That's the 56th run batted in for McGuire as well, to go with 26 home runs. Here's Carney Lansford. 2-4 for Lansford. That's a line out to third, and that's going to end the inning. I think that's going to do it for DeLeon. DeLeon is going to go 8 innings. They'll bring in somebody else to pitch the 9th, but DeLeon is going to go 8 innings, and we'll get the numbers on DeLeon off the computer and get what his final pitching line is. He is, of course, subject to take a loss and drop his record to 7-8. 8 innings pitched, 7 hits, 6 runs, all earned, 2 walks, and 6 strikeouts. He was bitten by 2 Mark McGuire home runs, but really it was that fifth inning where they got 4 runs that really did them in. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, Dave Stewart is rolling along since having the early hiccups. He has settled in quite nicely and looking to go the distance for the A's. No reason why he couldn't go the distance, as long as he doesn't run into any issues. So Harold Baines leads it off. 5-6, and that's another strikeout. There's a dot there, but he has not reached his point of weakness, so he is fine. That is only the 3rd strikeout for Stewart. He has not gotten the strikeouts like he usually gets, but he hasn't needed them. As long as he gets the outs, that's all that matters. Here's Calderon. Oops, dropped the die again. Calderon. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. That's a 6-4, and that's an in-home run chance, 1-9. 10-20 would be a double. And that's gone. Calderon. Home run for the White Sox. They finally show some life. Calderon, a home run. That is his 10th of the replay. He had 28 of them real world, so he's kind of behind his mark or his pace. 10th home run, 27th run batted in. Cuts the lead to 6-4. Russa still has not flinched. He's still sticking with Stewart despite that home run. Here's Walker, 6-8. That's a walk. So now the bullpen is going to start stirring for the A's because now they're getting some base runners on. And for Stewart, uncharacteristically, that is his 6th walk. So bullpen activity, they do have, looks like they have, let's see who the most rested relievers are. We got one lefty, Dave Leeper, in the bullpen. The other 3, they have Gene Nelson, and then they have Jay Howell and Dennis Eckersley kind of co-closers. So let's see which one between the 2, Eckersley and Howell. Eckersley has more rest. So Eckersley is loosening the bullpen for Oakland in case Stewart runs into trouble or any further trouble. Fisk is your batter. Walker at first, 1 out, 1 in. 3-10 for Fisk, and that is a single to right field. Let's put runners at first and second. And now the tying runs are on base. And I think that's going to be it for Stewart. Seem to be rolling. Yeah, Stewart has now reached fatigue. And Tony La Russa is not going to mess around. He is bringing in Dennis Eckersley. Try to get a 5-out save, which for Eckersley back in '87 was no big deal at all. Did it all the time. So Stewart's going to go 7 1/3. And will complete the rest after the inning is over because he is responsible for these 2 runs. He can win it, but he can't lose it. And Dennis Eckersley coming on for the Oakland A's. Eckersley, in the real season for Eckersley, he was 6-8 with a 3.03 ERA and 16 saves. That was the real 1987 season. On the replay, Eckersley is 4-3 with 12 saves and a 2.29 earned run average. 63 innings pitched, only 36 hits allowed, 14 walks and 57 strikeouts. So with Donnie Hill coming up and runners at first and second, they are the tying runs. Eckersley, he is a -2 hold, so keep an eye on that as well. So Donnie Hill, 1-8 for Hill, and that's a ground ball, second base a third. Giovanni's Tailor Shop, tailor-made double play, hit in 2 by the White Sox. Talk about killing your rallies. I think the Oakland A's might have to give a special contribution to Giovanni's Tailor Shop because they have come through with 3 double plays. Eckersley comes in, throws 1 pitch, induces the 4-6-3 double play, and that will end the inning. White Sox get 1. They were looking for more, but they only get 1. And we go to the 9th. It is 6-4 Oakland, and the White Sox will need a new pitcher. Coming up for Oakland, it's Jackson, Steinbach, and LeMaster. So 2 of those are right-handed. So I believe, let's see who's got the most rest in their bullpen. Let's take a look here. Out of the right-handers, they're actually going to go to Bob James. He's their closer, but he hasn't worked in a while, so they're going to go to Bob James to try to keep the score where it is. We'll get the numbers on James, both on the replay and in real world. We look at James on the real season. Bob James, 4-6, 4.67 ERA and 10 saves. That's what he did in 1987. On the replay, he is 1-2 with 10 saves also, but a 5.68 ERA, 25 innings pitched, 30 hits, 8 walks, 17 strikeouts. And he's going to face Reggie Jackson, Hot Dog Jackson, Steinbach, and LeMaster. Those are the scheduled hitters. Reggie is 2 for 3 in this game. So let's put James. Let me make sure I write James in here. And he is a +2 hold. So Bob James trying to hold the fort. 5-8, and that's a strikeout. So he strikes out Hot Dog. 1 away for Terry Steinbach. 110 for Steinbach. That's another strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts for Bob James. And now what do they do with LeMaster? I think they're going to pinch hit for LeMaster. The A's are going to pinch hit. And they're going to use, who do they want to use here? They will use Mike Davis to pinch hit, and then they're going to bring in Tony Phillips to play second base. So Mike Davis will pinch hit for LeMaster. And then Phillips will go in and play second base in the 9th. So we'll have Phillips here. And Phillips is a 4E21 instead of a 37. So he's a 4E21. Running that at 15 instead of a 13. All right, so Mike Davis, the pinch hitter. Let's bring in Mike Davis on the computer. Get his numbers. Davis hitting .293 on the replay, 16 homers, 48 driven in. He hit .265 real world. Mike Davis against James. 112, it's a fly to right that ends the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the White Sox, and they'll have to do it. Let's see if they want to do any pinch hitting. Steve Lyons is going to be your leadoff hitter. Before I do anything, I've got to bring in Phillips at second base on the computer so that we have a second baseman out there. Tony Phillips. And now, let's see, Steve Lyons. Let's look at the bench for the White Sox. Lyons, a .280 hitter, though. That's pretty good. But on the bench, they do have Darryl Boston, a decent left-handed hitter. And they do have Jerry Royster, a .265 hitter. Enrique, .258. Hairston is .230. And Mr. Karkovice, Mr. .071. So he's no threat. Boston could be used as a pinch hitter, but Lyons, it's hard to take him out. He's a .280 hitter. So we're going to stick with Lyons. Even though he's 0 for 3, they're still going to stick with him. Actually, no, they're not. They're going to make the change. They want Darryl Boston. He's more of a leadoff hitter. So Darryl Boston's going to pinch hit for Lyons, just to try to mix it up. So Darryl Boston, since Lyons is 0 for 3, they will bring in Darryl Boston. He hit .258 real world with 10 home runs. So Darryl Boston getting the pinch hitting call here in the bottom of the 9th, rather. Darryl Boston. Boston on the replay is hitting .279 with 7 home runs, 20 driven in. Eckersley trying for what would be his 13th save of the season. 5-4, left-handed, pops him up to short. Alfredo Griffin is there, 1 away. That'll bring up Ken Williams. Williams is 1 for 3 with a double. That's a 3-5 for Williams. He flies to left, 2 down. Now it's all up to Ozzie Guillen. Last chance for the White Sox, and they're going to feel like they let one slip away. They were cruising there through 4 innings, and it just fell apart for them. Here's Ozzie Guillen. That's a 110 for Guillen, and he flies to center to end the inning and the ball game. So Dennis Eckersley records the save. He goes an inning and 2/3 and gets his 13th save. The loss will go to DeLeon. He's 7-8. The win, Stewart, 11-3. James goes 1 inning, strikes out 2, gives up nothing. And let's see, Eckersley, an inning and 2/3, he gave up nothing. So for Stewart, 7 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, but only a few of them are earned. So let's go to the computer and let the computer figure out the earned runs for me. And we'll get you set for tomorrow's game in Kansas City. Oakland A's pull out another one and improve their record to 46-30. 6 runs, 7 hits, and 2 errors for Oakland. 4 runs, 5 hits, and no errors for the White Sox. Oakland improves to 46-30. Chicago drops to 35-39. For Stewart, 7 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, only 2 of which were earned. He did walk 6, strike out 3. So there you have it. The Oakland A's, again, pull out another victory. And as we go to the standings, their lead just goes a little bit bigger in the American League West. All the other teams have to win to keep pace. Oakland now leads the Kansas City Royals by 7 games. They lead Chicago by 10. So Kansas City playing Minnesota tomorrow. Kansas City has to win to stay 7 or to get back to 6.5 games back, or else they'll drop another game to the Oakland A's. Dan, you also have a great day. Like I said, hopefully, I'm thinking if they ship it out tomorrow, maybe I'll get it by the weekend, possibly. Like I said, I'm not in a big hurry to get it. I just want to know when it's coming so I can keep an eye on it, because our FedEx people are notorious for delivering to neighbors instead of here. So if they're telling me that the delivery's been confirmed and it's not on my porch, I got to go hunt for it. So I would like to know when it's going to be here so I can keep an eye on that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's going to do it from here. And if we flip the page or turn the page and look at our next game, game number 530, we will be in Kansas City for the Minnesota Twins and the Kansas City Royals. Bob Stoddard against Frank Viola. Minnesota 36-41, Kansas City 38-36. It will be game number 530 on the replays, and the second game, actually third game of July 1st date. So no game tonight for the Rockies because they are off on their Tuesday, April the 1st. They had off. So we'll be back tomorrow night with them on their April 2nd game, game 2 of 3 with the Phillies in Philadelphia. So that'll be tomorrow night. Of course, tomorrow morning we'll be here for Kansas City and Minnesota. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday, whatever you have planned. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and I will catch you all down the road.